would you like to reintroduce ourselves?
Fuck. We're not. Hey guys, we're not pissed at One Piece. We're pissed at you because you guys didn't ask this podcast. Welcome back to Piss Pirates. I'm Jack, and I'm joined by my little buddy boy Shaybs over here.
Oh boy, Jack. You know what's funny? I checked. The last time we recorded was the same amount of time that we recorded. Like it was 4 months since we recorded the last one, and it was 4 months the last time we recorded.
That's a crazy podcast schedule. It's every 4
we upload
months.
every 4 months. Isn't that great, guys?
Well, it's a schedule. It's consistent.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well,
expect us in the next 4 months.
Yeah, expect that. Maybe we'll double it next time.
When fucking Gear 5th is finally animated.
Yeah, shit.
It's taking forever.
That's coming soon, right?
I feel like soon enough. Yeah.
I feel like that should have happened already. Am I wrong?
Yeah. So where they are right now is Zoro just beat King. Sorry for it.
I saw some clip of that. It was really
cool. Big episode for that one.
Yeah, I saw some clips from that.
Yeah. So I think I obviously am not caught up with this part of Wano. I'm still watching it fresh, but I believe what's left is Law and Kid beating Big Mom. Komurasaki beating Orochi.
Oh yeah,
and then that's it. I think it's Kaido Luffy.
Big
and
Luffy.
And I think that's the extent of it.
Yeah, no,
yeah, but then
I think you're right.
Obviously, there's probably another couple of months after that when we, wrap up Wano. I think there's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, there's like 5 chapters after it. There's like a little bit of fallout, something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like One Piece has changed so much since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah.
I feel he is getting
You
better.
feel better about it? You feel better?
I am so into it right now. I feel
That's
like
good.
I feel like I'm like 15 again. I feel
because when we last recorded, towards the end you were like, let's rename this podcast to Doubt Piece.
Doubt Piece, bro.
You were so black-pilled, bro.
Was I?
Yeah, no, it's a bummer.
What was the last chapter we read?
So yeah, I looked. The last week chapter we recorded that I can tell we didn't give a number.
Pilled. God damn.
It felt like that, or maybe that's just how positive I am on it.
Okay. Because I did like Egghead a lot.
Yeah, no, you were liking Egghead, but it was just sort of like, obviously there was the Saul. Obviously Saul had just happened and all this other stuff.
Yes.
But then we got the actual trailer. So the last one we recorded was 1071, and now we're at 1086.
Oh, okay.
That many chapters.
Damn.
But Kuma, in 1071, I literally wrote down plot synopsis for all the chapters just in case.
Oh my god! Yeah, we're prepared.
Shapes
is prepared this time.
I listened to the last podcast, and this is all in the last 2 hours.
Let's get this, bro. Let's get. I'm just here about this now. Let's get this.
Yeah. So Kuma landed on the red line. The defenses went offline, and Aegis was able to infiltrate it. That's the first time Zoro encounters Kaku. Like Kaku wakes him up. Vegapunk is being chased by Bonnie still. Kid arrives at Elbath.
Oh.
We don't even know that Shanks is on there yet.
Yeah.
That's like several chapters later. And then Garp is just about to leave for Hachino's.
Okay.
And that's chapter 1071.
Okay, that's
that was
just
the last time we talked.
Setting up a lot of like what occurs.
Yeah. It was really interesting reading it back of like how much of it, like certain plot points that he's just like fleshing out and developing, and gradually bringing you in while not like totally shotgunning it. Like you think of the encounter with Kid and Shanks as like one thing, as like one episode almost.
Yeah.
But it's split up into 3 chapters that are not consecutive with each other.
Because there's other things going on in between that, like within the chapter too. Because it cuts from a Luffy to Blackbeard and Law to like Kid and Shanks. It's like Kobe. And then
the you see a lot with Marines.
Yeah, the Marines, and then we go to Sabo, like the whole Sabo.
And now we're actually figuring out what happened on every.
Dude, every I'm talking to my roommate. Every chapter, I'm like, we're going back to Luffy. He's not gonna reveal shit to us. I've been like tainted as a One Piece fan for like 20 years. This guy has been like slowly drip feeding us information. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna reveal stuff to us. Like we're not gonna know about the Gorosei, like Emu. Like we're just gonna cut back to Luffy again, and then we have to wait another year to figure it out. But each week we keep staying in. We're focused on this Sabo flashback. and he's revealing so much information about the end game of the series. I am so impressed by it, especially the last chapter that just came out like 2 hours ago.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I
yeah,
am.
That's 1086, where they finally gives the names for all 5 Gorosei,
and they're like gods. There's like
they're god warriors.
They're god warriors,
and then revealing of one of the god's knights.
Yeah.
First god's knights. He's the commander. He's the former king of God Valley.
Yes, it's
like, oh,
they
what?
keep throwing fucking God in like every sentence of this story now.
Right.
And then there's the whole reveal with Vivi being having the will
being
of
a
D,
and being a D.
And revealing that like their line and like
that definitely broke. I think it broke it open for me about what D is, and I love that. I actually love what I think. It's not confirmed what it is. It seems that way now, and I'm like, okay, that's dope.
No, I think it's great. That specific chapter of just Cobra kind of confronting them about the 100 people or so who created the government back in the day.
Mu is being recognized as one of the first 20, and Emu is referring to themselves as Mu. Yeah. And then you even have Ivankov confirming it in this chapter. It's like, hey, there is an eternal youth fruit.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that
they got the Opie no Mi. The Opie no Mi. Like it
stands to reason that one of them is like that.
Yeah, no, it all comes together. I'm just surprised. He's really going, like, that statement he said about we're going to the finish line. You can start One Piece here. He wasn't lying to us. He wasn't drudging us along to like get some hype out of us. But
it wasn't
he's
a
committed.
cynical thing.
He's committed.
Real.
He's committed.
The One Piece is real.
The One Piece is real, man. It is real. And it's great.
I'm happy you're more positive on it.
That's
great.
I'm enthralled right now.
This was also the perfect time for him to go in a 5-week hiatus.
Yeah, that's the thing I was sad about. I was like,
I think that if he had to do it, if he's getting his eyesight fixed so he can maybe draw better.
This is it.
Obviously, some people have problems with like calling it scuff piece or whatever, and that the art quality. I like the art. Honestly, I kind of like it. I like how kind of gravelly and storybookish it feels. It feels like kind of, I don't know, very ornate drawings almost. Doesn't feel like I'm reading manga. I'm reading manga or so. I don't know. It just feels different, and I like the vibe. I really do.
No, it definitely makes sense though. He has he has astigmatism.
Yes.
Well, I also have that, so I'm like, damn, like
wow.
I'm literally Oda. Like I'm the same like vision.
I don't, and that makes me think of like, why don't you just get glasses, Oda? What's wrong with glasses?
He can't do it. They're too nerdy. Does he not have glasses? What the fuck?
I don't know. He didn't really say. But it's like, I guess he doesn't want them, or none of them doesn't believe in them.
I don't know. He probably has glasses. If he has
he's rich enough to get the surgery. So
he's fucking loaded. But yeah, you're right though. It like for any time to get like this like 5-week long surgery and recovery time, it is now. It is
he finished that flashback. We're good.
We did it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. He impressed me. He keeps impressing me.
And I felt like even where he left off on Egghead was a good move. Actually, that was a good point as any to kind of leave off, because he was building this tension of who of like being a traitor. You read it back and it's like they were not. We were kind of seeing that as like, oh, I bet there's a traitor or something. But they were like really steady about like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's weird. This thing's happening or this thing's happening. Very subtly.
Yeah.
And then it gradually like, yeah, there's someone fucking with us.
Yeah.
There's someone on this island.
Yeah. There's something else going on like beyond our control.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then and then we're getting tied back to that now with the mentioning of Vegapunk and this.
Just this chapter where it's like it's his invention that annihilated Lelousia.
Yeah, the Mother Flame, which is a giant shadow in the sky that destroyed a kingdom. And I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if it is because we
don't know if it's an ancient weapon. We thought maybe it could be Pluton or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it's like a modern like he changed up the ancient weapon. Maybe he modified it in some way.
Yeah.
Like
or fixed it.
He fixed it, maybe. Yeah, that might be it. The Mother Flame.
Guess. But it is interesting that they refer to it as Vegapunk's invention and not one of the ancient weapons. Like the Gorosei probably know what an ancient weapon is.
Oh yeah, they do.
Why are they referring to it as Vegapunk?
I feel like it's
even when they're trying to kill Vegapunk now. You know?
Yeah.
For researching on the Void Sentry.
Yeah, for questioning them, which is I guess that makes sense. Emu's he's not a good guy. He's not a wholesome.
He or she. I've always thought it might be a she.
That would be awesome.
I got a vibe. Not gonna lie. That's fair.
They got the Makima eyes though. I'm looking at him
yes,
right now.
That's a guy that might have been it.
They got the Makima eyes.
How slender the figure is. It just made me feel like it's a chick.
That would be cool. I would like that. Luffy's mom. Luffy's mom is Eve.
Right, that's right. Oh my god.
God damn it, bro.
Man.
God fucking damn it. Dude, Dragon
yeah.
reaches the top of the world and, he gets with the
boned.
The queen of the world.
He learns the truth of the world, and that's how he starts the revolutionaries.
That's how he starts the revolutionaries. God damn. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
It does but there is that whole there's certain questions. Obviously there's a lot of questions we don't know, but and I also just enjoy that despite the feeling of progress that we do feel like we're starting to understand more, we still don't know the full kit and caboodle.
Right? Yeah.
They turned into something back there. We don't know what that is. We still don't really know who Emu is. We have guesses, but we don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, it's a shadowy figure with scary eyes and a weird ass head. We don't know what it is. Why? But
what you were saying about Luffy's origins and his mom and everything, and the last episodes of the anime that I watched, where I'm caught up, is the One Piece Film Red specials.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like 2 originals with Uta, and then the third one is kind of just like a combination of who is Shanks really, and a kind of a recap of episode 1 again, of chapter 1. I mean.
Okay.
It's episode
Okay.
4. It's episode 4 of the anime.
Yeah.
And it made me think, being like, why does Shanks visit that town, of all places?
Right.
And Garp is kind of based out of there. He's Luffy's grandfather. That's weird.
Right?
Makes you wonder, makes you think.
Yeah, it's just did Shanks have a bigger plan for Luffy? It goes back to that theory people were having about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, how he planned to have there's that theory that people are like, oh my god, he planned to give it to Luffy because Luffy's the chosen one.
I think
that's bullshit.
I don't think he planned to give it to Luffy, but he definitely had to alter his plans.
Yeah.
In a way that once he ate the fruit, he's like, okay, that's what we're doing. That's my role in this story. Because I don't know. He knows something. He knows something that Roger told him. Because you have I did finally watch the Odin flashback.
Ooh, amazing shit.
And you do have the scene after they get from Laugh Tale where Shanks asks him something, Roger responds, and he starts crying.
Yeah.
So, don't know.
Yeah, right?
Not sure there. We also don't have the transition point when Roger gives his hat to Shanks.
Right.
We don't really know their relationship yet.
There's still a lot to unveil. Because I'm excited. We get some pieces of information. It's a lot about the leaders of the world. We get.
Yes.
But there's still so much beyond that. It's still we get an idea, more of an idea what the will of D is, but not entirely revealing that. Because we can assume, it's this group of people that fought against the government. That's something we already knew.
Against the gods.
Against the gods.
Yeah.
That's already something that's been established for a long time. It's that's something people have theored, but it's not what do they possess? Why is it called?
I wanted to address this one thing that I was talking to one of the TCB members, because they connected with me after I talked to Nate on Talking Pirates.
Oh, rival
pirates.
Loser podcast, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was fun to pick each other's brains, because there's a lot. We spent 3 hours talking about this one mid-ass chapter.
Oh my god.
Because it was 1083, which was the one that's just the food was destroyed, the celestial dragons, God's Knights are a thing, captains are fighting the admirals, CP9 is there in one panel, and Cobra is just about to beat the Gorosei. That is all you get.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup.
It's a setup. Yeah, was kind of a mid chapter. So we talked a lot about other stuff, and like Nate was like, "Oh, what do you feel about law?" Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think
certain other picking a.
Oh, he was doing that to
stuff.
me when I went on too. He's like, he's
Yeah.
because his audience they all have like a certain perspective that they like.
Oh yeah, they hate Sabo.
They hate Sabo.
They fucking they hate
hockey
I get
and like all the.
We did.
stuff.
Oh, they hate hockey. Yeah, we didn't get into that. We didn't get into him not liking Gear 5 because I got a vibe that he doesn't like it.
No, yeah, he's a One Piece hater.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he'll. Yeah, right. And the thing is too, he's surrounded by One Piece haters. He's consistently being like affirming. He's like, there's feedback, and it's fun. It's fun to kind of
it's fun.
to
It's
jab
fun.
at it. I liked being like making fun of Sabo and his stupid pipe. You know?
It is really funny. The pipe
Like,
is
it is
corny as
really
hell.
funny
That
and
pipe
dumb,
is
you know?
stupid as fuck. It is so
He has
stupid.
not used it. Like
Yep.
I straight up, I don't think he's used it in a substantial way.
I just
he
think
just uses Ace's fruit now.
I-
Why does he have it?
Like, why does he like that? That specifically, like, I never even thought about that because that's something he had as like a
Right.
poor little kid.
Yeah.
But he still keeps it around.
Yeah,
like,
and we were
drop
saying that he like Sabo's like the kid that never graduated high school.
Yes. He's still,
Yeah.
he's still wearing like the varsity jacket, like around
He's got
class.
the ring.
He's got the
Yeah.
ring. Oh my god, it's fucking Sabo.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
corny MF, but
Well, yeah, but and I am. It is easy to make fun of him. Where I still am kind of. I think his function at the moment now seems to be like this connective tissue of finding out what happened in that room.
yeah,
But Wapo also saw what happened in that room.
yeah.
So why I'm sure there's a reason, because it really watching Wano now, like really, I'm really getting technically so the last episodes I saw was the Red specials,
Okay.
but the last episode was Luffy totally bodying Kaido, and saying, "Hey, Law Zoro, get back downstairs. This one's mine."
I got this, bro. I got this.
And he's like, "I got this." Yeah, it was fucking awesome. And One Piece fans, you are piss babies, crybabies. Get the fuck out about this fucking aura shit. It's so obvious what it is.
The aura shit. What?
Yeah, you know how like people are complaining about the One Piece anime if it's all auras now. It's like Dragon Ball and whatever, and like they're complaining about him flying around and shit.
I haven't seen that. I guess I just don't pay attention to the anime discourse. I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So
fair
people
enough.
are complaining that it's becoming Dragon Ball because
Well, it just feels like Dragon Ball because there's a lot of auras and stuff. Even though, I don't even know if they're paying attention or something. Literally, that's the power that he got from the old guy. I forget his name. Fucking Ryuo.
I love the
Ryuo
old guy
or-
in the prison, right? Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah. Right. Oh, Hyogoro.
Kyogoro.
That's kind of the thing that he's using to beat Kaido. He's like, this is the thing I can, and they realize it in that episode, and that's why it's so flashy and spectacular. It's like he really gets Rio, and he's like the badass thing that Luffy's doing is that he's kicking his ass without even touching him. He's
Damn.
like, it's auras, and it's like, and that's the thing that that Rayleigh did in 3D2I. Like the thing that Luffy's like, what the fuck did he do that I want to do that?
Yeah.
Which is just like, blocking an attack without even fucking hitting him, without even touching him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like kind of the badass thing. And so people were like complaining about this one shot, like the very climactic shot of Luffy uppercutting Kaido, because I think they were saying that like the manga panel, it looks like he's connecting on, and it looks like a cool like uppercut punch or whatever. And then this one, it's framed the same way, but there's so many flashy effects going on that you can't tell what's going on, I guess. And I'm certainly people can.
Okay.
I'm sure people can articulate this better than me because they obviously are the ones that have the fucking problem. But like the cool thing about it is that he doesn't touch him. He doesn't touch Kaido. Where that whole time they were fighting Kaido with Big Mom, all their attacks were physical contact, and were like cutting him or crushing him, attacking with rocks, punching him, and they were doing some damage. But he wouldn't. He's tough like that. He doesn't get fazed by that for long. But this actually does something to him. Now, obviously, other things can do something to him. Zoro does get a good scar on him, which is awesome.
I remember that
great.
moment. That was
but
a good
like,
moment.
Zoro gets several, like one after another, like banger. Like it's incredible how much good shit he's getting in this arc. I'm so happy he was up there. for how little he was. Obviously he went back down because he
No.
kind of bought. He's good. He's he did enough.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm just happy. The panel. I don't know if you saw the fucking the panel of Sanji holding Zoro in the cross is like, that's like one of my favorite One Piece panels. I just think it's it's so funny, but also like badass at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's great. Their dynamic is unparalleled.
That specifically. I'm happy Zoro is up on the roof with all those guys, because it just shows it's like the worst generation. Like it's the strongest of the worst generation.
It was all the the supernovas.
Yeah, it was a great standoff.
That weren't on Kaido's side.
Right? Yeah.
That were there that are not on Kaido's side.
All the loser ones are on the other side. Fucking Apu and Hawkins.
Yeah. Drake did turn by the time they went to Roof Piece, but he's not going up there. He's not going up there. Ain't no way.
He's a little dinosaur. It's ex-Drake, man. Who cares about him?
Right. Well, I mean, that was cool with like him revealing to be a member of Sword. I did not know that. I was not spoiled to that somehow.
How? You've spoiled yourself on everything. I'm surprised.
On a lot.
Literally, shit.
But like a lot of the Wano developments, I think, have been surprising and fun. And the ones that I was spoiled to, it's like, man, I kind of wish I wasn't spoiled to it.
Right?
A little bit, because it's just like, I know it happens here, and the dynamic is that you don't know that it's going to happen. Like Sanji calling for Robin to help. It's a great moment, and the thing is that you don't expect it. The point is that you don't think he'll do it.
Yeah, right.
There's no way and then everyone's affirming that. The women are like, oh my gosh, he's not gonna say it. He's protecting her and everything, because this is obviously a trap or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he does it, and that's Oda does. It's the last thing you expect and everything. And
that development's great.
And it develops into such this amazing character moment for both of them, because at least in the anime, Robin shows up immediately. It's so good. It's like, yes, dude. Oh
no, it was like a long wait for Robin to pull up to a fight and do something like that. I thought that was really satisfying watching her.
Absolutely.
And the spider, I forgot her name, the spider girl.
Black Maria, yeah. That was I don't know, I feel like it was like a perfectly suited fight for her. It's like this giant spider person with a bunch of legs, and against her ability, who she can just make a million legs and feet and hands and shit. I thought that was really entertaining. Yeah, and they were also just trying to out diva the other.
Yeah,
because,
right.
Black Maria's whole thing is just I'm this evil seductress, big woman, Sanji will not win. He is not winning.
No, he's
he
done.
is not winning
done.
a day.
No chance.
A single iota. And Robin, way she enters it, and she's like, I was part of an evil organization once. and she, when she's
I ran that shit.
She's like, I can out diva you every day of the week. And she's and it's cool because I know I'm not there yet, but I know that the fight develops in that way, where she reveals this devil form or whatever, and so she's really scary, which is really cool, really dark character. And I mean, I don't know when this happened. I think it was in Punk Hazard where Oda developed this character trait of hers where she's just oddly morbid. She's just suddenly very morbid, and it's only Chopper seems to notice it.
Yeah, no, she just says the most out of pocket stuff sometimes, and Chopper's there to react to it.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's always maybe not to that extent, but I feel like she's always been kind of blunt. And straight to the point, and maybe that kind of developed into that morbid personality of hers.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things with Oda, right, where he makes one joke, and then he thinks it's so funny he's gonna do it again.
He's gonna do it again and again.
I'm gonna do that again.
Well, that's humor, man.
The fucking cringe, the cringe face.
Oh, the cringe face is so good.
He brought it back for Egghead when they're like, hey, you want to team up? And they're like, oh.
That cringe face is so funny.
It's so good.
No, that's one of his best faces, man. That shit is so funny.
No kanji. Yeah.
Oh my god, that shit was so good. No, One Piece has been I'm glad you're liking Wano so far.
Yes, yeah. I obviously like I didn't have the best impression of it when we were on last time.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you were like
yeah.
Doom talking the anime specifically.
I was.
Think.
You were eating it up. Like you were waiting for it because you were just waiting for me to say anything negative about it.
I was hungry, bro. I was hungry.
Obviously you caught me. Obviously you caught me at like the weakest. It was the single weakest part of the entire arc, which is like a very long arc. So it's like, wow, the one time you got me.
Is that like the early raid part? Is that?
No, it was literally the very beginning of like Luffy fighting the sumo guy.
Oh yeah, the sumo.
And,
I remember
and, like,
talking
the
about
rat
that.
lion person.
Yeah, no, that
but
was.
Even then you shortly like the episode afterwards. I didn't even watch the episode afterwards, like where like he finally does the Red Hawk.
Yeah, on Kaido.
He does Red Hawk and not on Kaido on the rat guy.
On the rat guy.
And that's and saves Tama that way, and that's how she sees him as Ace.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, oh my god, you're just like Ace. And then you just get more with like dynamics with Zoro, Luffy, and then they go over to visit the old Curry Castle, and they find everyone else. And then Luffy gets totally bodied by Kaido.
Luffy gets killed, like destroyed by Kaido, and we get the whole prison arc. I think it definitely picks up from there.
Yeah,
like the prison part, everything else going on outside.
End of Act 1. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
Luffy's defeat is end of Act 1, and then Act 2 is just everything up to I think the raid. I think somewhere around the raid. I don't know.
It kind of bleeds. I don't know the particular moment.
The raid is the actual impetus between like Luffy's escaped prison and we're ready to raid, all the way through like, yeah, they know that we're raiding, like which is the Akazuya doing snatch on Kaido. I would say is the moment where it's like, okay, we're in.
We're in.
You know, it's done. But there was like a lot of episodes in between that of like obviously the Odin flashback, but even just getting to Onigashima, all the drama about like everyone, like nobody was there initially because fucking Kinemon got the wrong port in mind.
Yes, that was insane. That's just like that's so
love
funny.
That. You know what's so funny? I had this thought the other day. I realized about Kinemon that moment where he is being praised for something that people think that he did. You know, that he's like, wow, you're such a genius of like, oh, it means this, and you meant it to go over here, and this is all part of your plan. And then you have that shot of him being like, arms crossed, being like, yeah, I'll take that W, even though he absolutely does not deserve that W.
He does not deserve it at all. Like, it was all a mistake.
Or it just happened to turn out that way.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of worked to their advantage because he had no idea about Kanjuro.
Yeah.
Had zero clue, and they were going to get ambushed if they went there, if they did that. And so it just kind of worked out that way. I was like, oh my god, it's Oda.
It's so Oda. It's like so.
That is just Oda, where people were like, wow, you're such a genius. You had all this stuff set up and in mind and everything. And he's like, yeah, I did that. That was me.
And it's such like a definitely like a trait of Kinemon's. Like he tries to be a showbo, but he's just kind of a dunce a lot of the time. He's not the smartest, but he's definitely he's definitely a go-getter. But it's like he's
well,
not,
you know, yeah. And I think he does shine in good moments with once he actually calls on that raid and kind of stirs everyone up to really sail ahead of the straw, like after the Straw Hats beat up that little outpost that's protecting Onigashima, which they totally body, and then he just kind of sails past them and has this really cool moment with them. That's another Megumi Ishitani episode. I had no idea that was her again, and I'm like, oh, a fucking course, because it's Kino the entire episode. I'm like, oh, of course. Plus the whole like Straw Hats about to like, they're like, where's the sake? Because we're celebrating Jinbei becoming the
Jinbei
10th
comes
Straw
in
Hat, and we're all together.
There's so much that happens in that arc, man. It's like, how does he?
Is every episode there's something.
There is,
and it is so dense. It's like no wonder it's 200 fucking episodes.
It's so dense.
Fucking Wano.
It's insane.
Wano is Wano is getting close to being the same length as East Blue Saga, Alabasta, and Skypiea combined.
That is fucked. Like just in episodes.
In episode length, yes.
Oh my god.
I'm loving it. It really is just like feast, and it's not every episode that's movie quality. You know, I get it. And like that makes sense because it's a rotation, it's a staff rotation. not the best guys can be on every single episode, because then it will just never get made,
then the machine doesn't work, right? Like, you need to...
and their talents are going to be diluted a lot because their attention is on everything. If they're the series director or whatever, they can't be the animation director on everything, because then they're not going to correct everything, because it's 20 minutes of animation, right, per week. There's some off weeks or whatever, but they can't really afford that, and nobody could afford that. Nobody, unless you had like everybody in the anime industry in on it, and nobody was working on anything else. Like all these animators talking about how like, I finished my cut on Miyazaki's new movie, stuff like that. Again, they work on it in advance and stuff, like it's an industry. But the fact that they have at least one every 3-4 episodes,
it's impressive.
That there's something that's like, holy shit, And I remember it trending on Twitter. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's that moment. And I had no context for any of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, and seeing that moment and stuff. And obviously, like, once it gets to Roof Piece, it's really cool seeing Oda have everything fall into place of like, this person's going to fight this person, this person's going to fight this person.
Yeah, it splits up in such a natural way, I find.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, kid-in-law going up against Big Mom.
And why? Like it makes sense. It just like functionally. And Killer going after Hawkins, so that it's just Law and Kid going after Big Mom. It also just makes sense of why he's introducing all of these characters. Because I remember one of your problems with Wano is just how stupid big the cast is.
Yeah.
Of the new characters. Never mind, Marco's there, Paris Paro's there, all the Minks are there. Several of the
samurai. The samurai are there.
All the samurai. Most of the supernovas are there.
Yeah.
I think the majority of them. But then you also have the Tobi Roppo. You have the ninja.
CP0's there. Like,
Aegis is just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
They're just like, there's this one story about. They're not doing anything.
They're just in the background. They don't do shit until later.
Yeah, they're not doing it. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, but then like seeing Orochi come back, when he gets reintroduced and he's like, I'm just gonna burn this shit over. That's a really cool moment, and it just makes sense with his character. I'm still kind of waiting to see if like, okay, what are they using these characters for, kind of deal. So like the Akazuya, once they're defeated by Kaido and they get warped downstairs, you do have that reveal that I think it's Komurasaki. It's not been officially revealed yet of who healed them, who like tended their wounds, but I think it's Komurasaki. Or Hiyori.
Momo's sister, yeah.
Yeah, Momo's sister. I'm pretty sure it's her. But it really is sort of like all these characters matter and function in certain ways that rounds out the whole story, and so you really can't have them not doing anything. Just kind of like, all right, I'll just wait. Everything, you do have to have them fighting somebody.
Yeah, everything is going on all at once. Like there's definitely strategy in mind. Like when he's coming up with a lot of these characters, like he wants to make cool character designs, but there's definitely strategy. But I think it takes away from like the, I guess, individual character moments that can occur.
Sure.
For each of the fights, I found that kind of lacking.
And that's fair, especially if you're reading it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens every chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted a 2-page spread from Whole Cake where it was the scene where Jinbei is giving the sake to Big Mom, being like, I'm resigning from the Big Mom Pirates. And that's like a huge moment, right? It's taking up like the middle of the 2-page spread. But on the left side, you just have Brooke casually smashing the picture. Right? And it's like, that's such a big moment. That's such a like, oh shit, and like really triumphant for Brooke as well. Both of those moments really matter, and both of those really deserve the gravitas and attention and build up. Time. People talking about the pacing of One Piece being so slow. It's not that it's slow. The manga is fast.
The manga's fast, yeah.
Every single moment feels like it matters a lot. Even though you could obviously be cynical and think of the grand scheme of things, like, oh, like the stuff with the Ice Oni and Chopper and Hyogoro getting infected and almost getting, having his men kill him because, he's like, I don't want to hurt you guys. That's being built up very significantly, almost taking up like a full episode. And I'm sure it was like 2 fucking pages.
No, it's like barely anything in the entire...
Right.
Like that...
Right.
That felt like a
nothing.
detour. It felt like a detour. Yeah.
But even... It's so funny that it's like, that's a detour. in the manga where it's only 1 page or like 2, however many pages it is. It's not even that many.
Well, because
right?
they focus on it a little bit. It's like
okay.
It's like something.
They obviously give you something.
They give you something. Like it's a it's just like, you know, strategically. It's like, oh, he wants Chopper to do something. He needs Usopp and Nami to do something. He needs the characters. And
I really like what he's having pretty much everyone do. You know, I think the ones that are unfortunately not getting a whole lot are Jinbei and Frankie, because they're just being pitted up against 2 of the Tobiroppos, and those 2 Tobiroppos at the moment, they haven't really focused on their fights yet at all. They're just kind of like 2 strong guys fighting each other.
Yeah, you know? It's just strong guys. There's no funny dynamic. There's no
there's nothing to that one necessarily. Whereas I really like what Nami and Usopp get to do. And it makes sense that they're together because they're the 2 weakest ones. And they're just like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this arc?
They're like, we're just running around. No, I'm happy they got to do something.
They find Tama, and Tama's a really big deal in this arc. And, you know, obviously, like, I knew her powers were, like, kind of scary. And it's like, oh, that's actually kind of fucked. And then, it really comes to the forefront where Queen completely betrays the waiters and the pleasures.
Yeah.
Because they're just waste. For it to hit less than waste, and so he's like, we're just gonna like focus on the gifters are the only ones that matter, and all the gifters are gonna turn. You know, like all the gifters. The gifters are the only ones, I think, because I don't think her Kibidongos work on humans necessarily. I think they only work on like human animals, like any part animals type of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it was really confirmed, because I don't think she ever really uses it on a human. She uses it only on the gifters.
Yeah. No.
And like those 2 animals.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure, because I don't know if they confirmed that, like straight up.
I mean, if you look at, you'd have to look at the whole arc and be like,
I completely forgot about the Tama stuff. I'm gonna be honest.
No, that's fair.
I remember
there's
them
so much.
I remember them turning a lot of the Kaido's troops against them, but I forget like the method, I guess.
Yeah, well,
in which that happens.
The gifters. It was the Kibidongos, and Usopp's just shooting all of them into people's mouths.
Yes, yeah, no, I remember.
You know,
that.
and then Nami's there. Nami's there. She does get a fantastic moment with Ulti. And her dynamic with Ulti is awesome, and being chased by her in page 1 is really funny. Well, it's just like A's Lobby, where each of the Straw Hats kind of have to fight somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you gonna do? Right? What are they gonna stand there, watch?
They can't make all of them like cool. Like Chopper fought the stupid pink guy, and like, you know,
it was fun. Right? But he's, you know,
I don't remember. No, it was fun, but it's like I don't remember his name. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah, neither do I.
He's not Kaku.
Papa. No, exactly. Well, yes, and you know, it was funny. These latest chapters, as I was rereading them back for this podcast, I was realizing that, like, wow, he just put like Lucci and Kaku in Egghead, and he kept everyone else that weren't as impactful. I guess Califo and Bluno were pretty good.
Yeah, I think they really.
But obviously, Lucci and Kaku are the ones that are like, wow, we actually were kind of endeared to those characters, and then they were traitors. You know, I'm gonna bring those 2 to Egghead, but everyone else, they're there too. Sure.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was that was such a great decision, and seeing them like being forced to fight alongside each other is so fun. I'm really excited to go back to Egghead to see the conclusion, right?
Yeah, the last time we saw them, Lucci and Luffy are still fighting S-Bear.
Yeah.
The Kuma Seraphim.
Yeah.
And S-Hawk disappeared while they weren't looking, so Kaku and Zoro ran off to find him.
So they're all split up. They're all split up in their own groups, which is pretty
so those
fun.
So those 2 pairs are in separate places. Shaka, Edison, and Pythagoras are down. Lilith is down technically because she's frozen in stone, but like so is Usopp and Frankie.
Yeah,
so
from
Snake from Boa Hancock.
The Hancock one, yeah.
Yeah, Hancock's thing. But Hancock can technically reverse them because she reversed York. Which by the way, like, you know, York was the traitor, and we low-key called it.
That was funny. That was really funny. I remember you messaging me.
We low-key were just like, wouldn't it be funny if York was it? Like, that'd be cool.
Like, if it was York, like, that'd be so funny. Like, the one you'd least expect, and that's literally it. That's just...
Yep.
That's so funny. No, I thought that was...
Very awesome.
Good reveal. Fun.
Definitely.
Very fun
Executed very well. And that was like the last thing we saw. was that she's the traitor, and then she gave a little bit about her plan and talking to the Seraphims, but that is the last we saw of Egghead.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, the last thing we saw is that Blackbeard's ship is arriving there too. So yeah.
Wait, Blackbeard arrived at Egghead?
So in 1079, which is
Oh
the
my
chapter
God,
that Shanks defeats Kid, like you have them actually fighting.
Yes.
Blackbeard, you see a panel of Egghead, like zoom, like wide shot of Egghead, the whole island, and in the corner is his raft. And then the panel afterwards is a flag with the Blackbeard flag.
Holy shit! I did not realize that. I did not realize that at all.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't know who's on that. I assume it's. Well, the thing is, because it's weird. We don't really know about chronology here. So like some of the Blackbeard pirates are on Winter's Island.
Yes.
Where they defeated Law. Off screen.
Oh, that is Egghead. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm looking at this chapter now. Shit.
Right. There it is. Yep.
Oh my god.
And but then Hachino's has some Blackbeard pirates too.
Yes.
And that's where Garp and Kobe are, and Aokiji.
They're kind of spread out.
So
yeah.
So I don't quite understand the timeline or I don't really know. I think it's just the female. I forget her name. But the female Blackbeard pirate.
The one with the nose.
Yeah, with the nose.
With the nose pirate.
I think it's her. The little mystical, the kind of like impy, like Joker-looking dude.
Oh yeah, he's really
with
ugly.
the top, with like the top hat.
Yeah.
I think that guy. We don't know where he is.
What about Jesus Burgess?
Yes, and then I don't think Burgess is on either of those either.
I think
he might be with Law. He might have been with Law.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember. So they're like spreading out. They're trying to spread their territory. I guess that's the next thing.
Well, I think they're just trying to do multiple things, or again, there was a difference in timeline.
Yeah, it's hard to say because he's not really specifying like time a lot, right? It's like
not necessarily.
Like we can.
It's sort of assuming that it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah. Right.
Like meanwhile over here type of deal.
I think that makes the most sense. Like he sends this to Egghead. It would make sense, like Jesus Burgess chasing down Luffy potentially, get the devil fruit, right? Because that's what he was doing on Dressrosa. He was trying to get Ace's fruit. So it's
he was trying to get Ace's fruit. They were just generally trying to collect fruits because Blackbeard's strategy seems to be entirely fruit based. Like he gave his giant crew member a giant fruit.
Yeah, that was insane.
Just making him even bigger.
The bigger guy, there's like the island fruit that one guy has.
And
that was so cool. That one was
that character was introduced during Marineford. He was there, but I didn't recognize that it was the same guy. I'm like, oh, that's Pizarro. That's the island guy.
That's the it's just like, well, he looks so different because he's a fucking island now. He's just a straight up fucking archipelago, man.
It'll be interesting to see how he differs from Pika.
Oh yeah,
Pika, the stone guy, who kind of functioned the same,
pretty similar.
way.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like that implies like he could just like go on water since he's an island. I don't know exactly how that works.
I'm not sure.
Will that defy like the devil fruit not being able to swim thing? Like I don't know. Like what is that?
Yeah, we don't know a heck of a lot of their power set.
Yeah,
but I like that about them for sure. But what I was going to say, I think what's interesting is, as far as we know, Blackbeard's crew is all devil fruit users. And Shanks' crew, I don't think any of them have devil fruits.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. They haven't. Well, they I feel like they would have revealed it to us, right? So I think it's complete opposite strategy, just complete reliance on hockey and
neither did Roger's crew. Roger didn't have any devil fruit users, as far as we know. Not even Odin was a devil fruit user.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing those like complete like different dynamics, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, I think I talked about a couple podcasts ago about this really interesting. I feel like it's singular for shonen, for battle shonen, where there's actually an emerging rival power sets, whereas sort of like the devil fruits are kind of like are given for people that they kind of get the power quickly, but they don't have the skill. Like they're not. Hockey takes skill. Hockey takes training and effort and focus and hard work, effort, right?
Yeah.
Devil fruits don't.
Yeah.
You just kind of have it, and you can just do all this cool stuff. But it's not
Yeah.
hard. It's like once Sabo gets the flame fruit, it's easy mode for him.
He burns things to the ground. Becomes very easy for. No, you're right. You're definitely right about it. It's a difference in like mantra. Like Shanks is so disciplined,
Yeah.
I guess, when it comes to hockey, and he is a better guy. We assume, just from the
Right.
story, right?
Right. Well, I mean, especially the way he acted, right?
Yeah.
The way he was against Kid, protecting. He was. I think they were saying like they don't know that we're technically the weakest crew, or something like that. Oh, the real reason it's his crew. Like there's a ton of people on Elbath, like a lot of other captains and stuff, and they're all kind of part of under his banner.
Yeah.
Like protected, and one of them says in 1079, the real reason you have to deal with him is because the fleet's notoriously weak.
Mm.
And then one says, you're not supposed to say that out loud. Because Shanks basically solos Kid.
No, Shanks is the figurehead, I guess, of this band of people who are just trying to party, I guess, in a lot of ways, like people who are just kind of peaceful.
It was interesting, the One Piece Film Red specials, they're mostly recap the third episode, but they did make this interesting parallel because Kobe is talking to Helmeppo, and he's like, Shanks is really well liked and respected by not just pirates, but by the Marines. And the fact that he was able, and they flash back to the Summit War, where he's able to just be like, I'm here to end this war. You guys should stop. And Son Goku's like, yep. Yeah, we should stop.
Let's
stop.
Okay.
It's sure. And he like agrees with it, and he's like, let me bury Ace and Whitebeard. And so Goku's like, sure. Yeah. Go for it. Like complete respect for him. Doesn't even have to do anything. He's just a dude.
He's just a dude.
They're just dude. Like the fucking that was probably my favorite moment in Summit War, where he's just like, yeah, if you guys want to fight anymore, we'll be your opponents. And it's just these dudes. They're just dudes.
They're just guys. But like he had that. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be more to him. There's got to be so much more to him. And I hope.
She has the future sight.
Yeah.
And the divine departure, just kind of one shots Kid.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
That's not nothing. And I feel like Elbath is the place. I feel. You think we're finally gonna learn more about Shanks and Elbath? I
think we're learning at Shanks at the end of the story.
You don't think?
I think Shanks. We've obviously mentioned this before, and I'm so sorry for loyal listeners who listen to all of these.
It's been 4 months. They forgot about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, one of my patrons was like, I just finished the 4th episode. I'm just like, great.
Great.
The Straw Hats do have to deal with the Blackbeard pirates. I do think they got to be the ones to deal with them.
Uh-huh.
They also have to deal with Shanks, with the red hair pirates. So it's sort of like how do you do all of that in succession? And I completely lost my train of thought earlier when I was talking about Nate's podcast. I got in contact with one of the TCB members.
TCB guys, yeah.
And he mentioned to me that it's his belief that One Piece is not going to end once they find the One Piece.
Yeah.
Once they find it, now they have to kick Emu's ass.
Uh-huh.
Like Luffy's he's gonna find the truth about the world, and he's gonna be so mad that he's gonna go all the way to the Red Line, up to Mary Joa, and kick Emu's ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ultimately,
do you seriously think that's gonna happen?
I want that to happen.
Yeah.
I want him.
And
I don't know
all
how
of this other stuff in 3 years.
No, it's not 3 years, Shade.
Final Saga?
You're fucking delusional if you think it's 3 years.
Final Saga?
You're delusional. It's not 3 years, bro. We got another 6 at least.
Going? Do you see how fast he's going?
Shaybs, I see how fast he's going, but I still see how much he's not showing us and how he's not revealing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I see there is so much more. And there's so like he is opening up new books that we don't know about. Like he's opening up like the first opening chapter of the Void Century. We know about the 100 people. We know about sort of the Willa D. We know about Lily, like D.
Yes.
D.
Yeah.
Whatever
that's
her name
just
is.
getting the ants. That's just starting to get the answers.
That's starting it, and it's
we
still have Elbath. We still have whatever comes after that. We still have to deal with the Cross Guild.
No, exactly. Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm just thinking about like logistics. And the thing is, I trust Oda in 2 ways. it's like, again, what we were talking about with Wano, how it really is remarkable how he's able to find roles for everybody to do that feel meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pairing Yamato with Shinobu and Momo-chan is really great. Is a really great idea, I think.
Yeah, it's making like it's such a good tactic he does of making these fun dynamics, and just like it just allows for all these characters to be part of the story. I mean,
feels characters to gel together and have them do something. And obviously that's the biggest challenge that he realized facing early on, where, you know, a scene happens and he needs to see the reactions of everybody who's seeing it. So if all the Straw Hats are seeing something at once, you know, can you imagine something at like Marineford or whatever? The amount of characters. Sometimes you forget the warlords are there because they don't cut to them and their reactions for some of the stuff that goes on there.
Right.
You know, but then because he doesn't do that, you kind of sometimes completely forget that they're there, and then you be like, yeah, where is Smoker in all this? What happened? why isn't he chasing after Straw Hat after all this? I don't know, but like that's a challenge that he has to do. So that's why he separates them and has a lot of things going on. And I think for the most part, he's been able to succeed in that, especially in something as chaotic and high stakes as Wano.
Yeah.
The fact that you have 2 Yonkos in the building, in the area, several people with over $1 billion bounty, you know, and thousands of other no-name characters. Never mind all the characters he has.
Yeah,
named.
like literally hundreds of named characters, named like fodder,
grunts, army, like infantry.
It was an undertaking. I think he succeeded. I think
so too.
I think
really
he succeeded.
Incredible.
It's there's definitely like faults I have with it because it's fucking.
You can't win them all, sort of deal.
But no, that's really impressive. I'm really excited. I want to see the rest of Egghead, because with this introduction of Blackbeard, I kept thinking that Blackbeard was going to show up to Wano for some reason.
I
had a feeling, like
that'd be something else.
But him or part of his crew showing up to Egghead really, I think opens up things. It's gonna, like, I guess, expedite the rest of the arc, because they gotta.
What really expedited it for me is how you really see the parallels, or you see the parallels now. God, no, you see that, like, in succession, Shanks defeats, you know, Job's kid.
Yes.
And Blackbeard Job's law.
Yeah.
Right. And they get knocked out. So it really is just Luffy, Blackbeard, Buggy, and Shanks.
Yeah.
It's just those 4.
Yeah.
And I just, like, the other thing I trust Oda with is, you know, maybe it was his intent. Maybe people don't believe him because he may said that at the beginning, or it's just PR or something. You could be cynical about it. Or he really does think this, like, I have had the last chapter in mind for a while. I know how it ends. He has told the entire story of One Piece to people. Because if the manga doesn't end with Luffy finding the One Piece, when does it end?
When does it? That's a good question.
If you're gonna find the One Piece, okay, now to kick Imu's ass. All right, and then it's gonna end with, oh, we defeated Imu. That's the end of the manga. You really want that to be the end of the manga?
I always picture the end of the manga being like Luffy being fucking executed.
I'm sure. I think you know what I think it ends with? I think it ends with Luffy disbanding the Straw Hat Pirates.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And then going off on what his dream is, which I don't know if it's space or whatever the dream that he says that Roger also said, that we don't know what it is yet, and that the only people that know are Shanks, his family, the Straw Hats, and I guess Yamato.
Yeah.
I guess they know too. We find out what that is. Pretty much. But then I think they're reading the manga with the 2-page spread of Usopp disbanding his pirates. It made me think, like, wow, wouldn't that be an interesting or kind of an emotional, affecting way to end Luffy's story, is to officially disband his own crew.
Yeah, I can imagine the dream, because I can imagine an idea. It just came in my head. Just spitballing, but it's Oda recently, I think it was like a year ago or something, he's really excited to end One Piece so we can just, like, lay on a beach and get sleep for the rest of his life. And I'm like, that's something that sounds a lot like Luffy. Is like,
Yeah.
does Luffy just want to relax after all this? Does Luffy just want to chill? Does he want to chill? Does he want to hang out? He just like, I just want to chill. Like maybe he just wants to find a peaceful place where everyone can be happy and just like live there. Because he's gone through all this chaos. He's literally like against all odds fought the government, like tear down like civilizations from corrupt leaders.
Right.
Like that's a lot of stress for a young man. I imagine. Like I can imagine.
There could also be something about like his death, where because I mean Roger not being executed. I don't expect Luffy to be executed because that would just
it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
Gets him. You know, it's like, especially with his relationship with them is different from Roger's.
Yeah.
And what also is just like it's a different navy at that point.
It's a different because there's so many people on the inside that know
presuming
Luffy.
It's presuming that Kobe is going to be the future of the navy, right? And I don't think with him in charge, he would do that sort of thing, especially to someone that's his friend and everything. Because I think that is kind of a failure of Garp. We still don't have a whole lot about Garp, all things considered, because obviously we don't know about the whole God Valley incident, which I think will reveal a little bit about him more. But where he positions himself, why he really wanted Luffy to be a Marine, and his role in this story of him being a D despite being in the Navy, navigating that and everything. And I'm not being like I need answers or something. I'm not like that. It's just like, seeing where his story goes, because obviously he is still involved with the story. He's currently fighting Aokiji, which is nuts.
Which is really cool.
It was really incredible because it was that that was his former apprentice as well, and he's like, I'm beating one of my former apprentices to save another one, or something that Aokiji says to him, or the irony of it.
Yeah. I really liked Aokiji's explanation. Like,
definitely.
Of him,
I liked it too.
Of him, like I was like starting to think it was like some more like advanced plan. Like I was overthinking
it.
I thought it was some 5-head situation. He was just playing with Blackbeard, like he was still working with the Navy or Sword in some way. But just his explanation of just being tired of the whole system and just like trying to be just wants to be a free man. I'm just it felt very attuned to his character. Like since the introduction of his character, like after what was it, Long Ring, Long Land?
In water.
Like, he's much more just like a free spirit. Like it felt so different from every other Marine. So it's I think it makes a lot of sense for his character. And
then what he says in that flashback of like the poneglyphs have given me nothing but bitter memories, there is definitely more going on with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that as well from him. And it makes sense with Blackbeard's perspective, because like Blackbeard probably knows all well and good that like it's very if Aokiji does turn on him, he's like, I mean, yeah, I figured as much. Like he's not stupid. Like Blackbeard is, Blackbeard can be very aggressive and jumping the gun a little too easily, a little too eagerly.
I just think he's ready for that, right? Because his whole plans began from him betraying Whitebeard. Like that's his whole. His whole.
Oh yeah, you're
like,
right.
That's just like I think he's ready for that. I think he's assuming that's gonna happen.
And he really it'll probably be sort of his undoing, similar to what Kaido, the way Kaido acts, especially when he talks to Luffy about like during their fight, where Luffy's like, we're gonna show you our guts and we're gonna beat you, we're gonna overcome you, and he's like, why are you like this? Like, I don't get it. He's like, because he's been so strong for so long, he's never needed to he's never had that kind of motivation or that hunger. He's just kind of always had it, and he's very complacent. He still has his aspirations and stuff, and like he does things. He's not lazy or something, but I mean, at the same time, he did just kind of chill in Wano that whole time. He's very kind of resting on his laurels a lot. He doesn't have hunger necessarily, but also like it's his attitude towards his crew. King and Queen reflect this of just not caring about everyone else. Yeah. And so without that unity, it
falls apart.
Oda demonstrates how he completely turns the tables. It doesn't matter how many people you have if those people aren't loyal to you.
It's a house of cards.
Right. Yeah. And so Blackbeard is probably building in a similar way, where his crew are loyal to him, but he's made it clear, and I think they've made it clear that that like he will cut them off in an instant, and they can cut him off in an instant. And there's this sort of like ragtag, like, that's what you get with pirates type of deal. And it's not operating on loyalty, but at the same time it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's this like mutual, like again, rewatching some Marineford, and there's this cool side perspective of
Shiryu.
Shiryu. There's this moment where they're approaching Whitebeard after they kill him, and he's like, if this doesn't work, I'm hightailing it out of here. Like I'm fucking off, and then it worked. Whatever Blackbeard does to Whitebeard to get his fruit worked, and he's like, well, I guess I'll stick around after all. He has this little side comment, and that's why they're able to operate, because none of those characters probably would have flown under any flag. Right. They're all like as free probably as Luffy, but it's just they all kind of share a similar vision as Blackbeard, that they're able to and so it works in a different way.
It's not really, like
and Aokiji fits in that. It's really cool.
It's not like this full commitment that they're putting into it, which I think reflects what you were kind of saying earlier about the kind of dichotomy of like having a devil fruit compared to like training your hockey, because that's like a commitment to growing stronger. It takes a lot of time. Whereas, they'll just fucking bullshit it. Oh, hopefully this weird method works. I could steal Whitebeard's power.
Cheat your way to success.
It's cheating your way to the top. I think that's just like
and cheating does get you quite far. It's not to say it's not effective. Obviously, Blackbeard wouldn't have gotten where he is without it, and without his cunning. Obviously, he has the motivation to do it. It's that will. It's really interesting of just him being a D as well as Luffy, right? God, their fucking opposites are so amazing, and it was a little more prominent in the early parts of the story. I think it got not thrown away, or I don't want to say would have forgot or something, but it's just not as much of a focus. I'd say starting around Skypiea Water 7, where you really see Luffy come up against other pirates, and they have an idea of what being a pirate is, or what it means to be free, or what it means to live, pretty much, their philosophy. And the way Luffy's clashes with that, or corrects them, or, counters them. And it really felt like Blackbeard was the culmination point of that, where no matter how you look at it, Blackbeard's a pirate. Right. He's arguably a better pirate than Luffy in terms of being a pirate.
He's the quintessential pirate. He's that stereotypical. He's like the stereotypical pirate. Yeah.
You sometimes forget this is a pirate manga, but it's Luffy's contrast with him that makes it so impactful, that I really would want them to have a real chess game with each other.
Yeah.
I would really want to see how Luffy's teamwork with his crew matches up against Blackbeard having all these just powerful individual players. Because I don't think at this point in the story, even at Egghead, that Nami and Usopp or Chopper can take on any of the Blackbeard pirates by themselves.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Just,
I don't know.
Even based on their powers, like even just like with what Doc Q is able to do with his fruit.
What is his fruit? He's the horse guy, right?
It's this is sick fruit.
Oh, he just makes people sick.
Well, he can just make virus. So you had like Law turning into a girl.
Oh yeah, that's him. Oh my god.
Yeah, so he can just do that. He can just do whatever. So he's insanely powerful, and he's also a doctor. And it's always interesting seeing Chopper contrasted with Queen, and with Caesar. Even though he never really fought, he did directly fight Queen. He had this really good moment of like everyone he figured out the cure for the virus, the Isoni virus, and everyone's like, "Great job, Tanuki!" And like, because people were like calling him like one or two people were calling him Tanuki, and then everyone just assumed that was his name,
Tanuki.
And Marco is calling him that, and he's like, "Yep, thanks everyone. I just have one more thing to say," and he rumbles into Monster Point. And then just fucking smacks Queen because he calls him Tanuki as well. He's like, "Fuck you, Tanuki," and he's like, "Tanuki's your name," and just fucking bodies him. That's so funny. Good. But then you're right. You still got like I would say that Shiryu fights Sanji because he has the clear fruit.
Oh yeah, there's the whole Absalom thing that happened earlier in the story. That's really, I think that
Absalom died for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's dead. That's good. He sucked.
He's fine.
He deserved to die. Know.
But Moria's alive though.
Yeah, which is interesting. We haven't seen him in a while because there was that whole flashback I think during Whole Cake, where he was.
It was
present.
Like Whole Cake it was like
Reverie.
Whole Cake or Reverie. Yeah.
He was being captured by someone.
Or maybe it was even early Wano, actually.
Fuck, man.
It might have been early Wano.
My brain is like, I can barely keep with my own life, man. Like, One Piece, I'm like, come on, man. He was being captured by a Marine or something? Or was it a different pirate crew?
No, he found out that Absalom was there.
Oh.
So he went to Hachino's by himself to try to rescue Absalom. And that's how he finds out that he got
Hachino is Blackbeard's
That's
island.
his base.
Okay.
That's his island, yeah.
Is that B Island? Is that one?
It's like full of lead.
Okay, that one.
It's translated as full of lead. But I believe that used to be Rox's home place.
Okay.
It could have been God Valley, but I'm pretty sure there's a connection there. I could be making that up.
Moria is like presumably either dead or captured.
We thought he fucking died there because he got bodied by Shiryu and the other person, the woman. I forget her name.
Did he get away?
No, he's in prison. He's in prison. And we only know that from one of the latest chapters where Kobe's escaping and he has this memory of Perona being on the island, and she's like, I'm trying to save Moria. He's locked up somewhere elsewhere on the island. That's all she says. So we know that she's on the island and that Moria's alive.
Shit. Okay.
At least she says he's alive.
Damn.
It might just be her assuming that.
God damn.
Yeah, it's great, man.
God, there's so much info that I forget.
It's
God
dense.
damn.
It is so.
This is
dense.
so dense, bro. I'm like, holy shit. Because I'm freaking out about all this new stuff, but then I guess.
Right. You even look at the hindsight, but then we're even geeking out at these small moments, these small character moments that are just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so packed, and it's like I get being wanting even more, where like okay, Frankie could still get some more, right?
Yeah.
Usopp still hasn't had an amazing moment since Dressrosa. Certain thing.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
You know, I can understand people having those pointing out, but that's obviously when you have such a massive story, and I wouldn't want it to be just the moments with these, because I think some other Shonen Jump manga have run into this problem and I feel like it has made them stale. It happens when like with Saint Seiya and I think Kinnikuman, where you just get the same characters fighting different threats, and there's no end to it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just repetitive in that way. And don't get me wrong, it's still satisfying with One Piece, even though it's kind of functioning a similar way, even in Wano. It's like, oh, this person, they kind of distribute and they're all fighting different people.
But I feel like it's different enough. Like, it's definitely like.
Because he's fleshing it out with all this other shit.
He's fleshing it out.
That he's focusing on these other characters and these other dynamics, and One Piece is bigger than just the Straw Hats.
Like, why that Robin moment sticks out so much for like everyone is because she hasn't had a moment in so long. It's everyone's wanting it to happen, and the longer you want it, you know, like you're just gonna crave it even more. And then once you get it, it's like, oh, it's like the greatest thing. So it's like, I don't think like I feel like Elbaf will be. I don't know what it's gonna like. I assume they're going there after that. I don't know what the hell.
I still don't even know if that's the case because
It's hard to
nobody
tell.
knows where the last poneglyph is.
Yeah.
Shanks has 3. Blackbeard has 3 because I'm assuming he took his. I'm pretty sure he took his part the rubbings from Law, and Luffy has 3. And Buggy, I don't think has any of them yet.
I don't think he's got. I don't think he does.
Knowing his connections, knowing what's gonna happen. I also just. By the way, we haven't even talked about this yet. Congratulations on getting your VV dosage.
Ooh, the VV is nice. Oh my god.
The past couple chapters.
God, that was fire. The VV stuff. Thank God.
They reveal that she's with Wapple and Big Moose Morgans.
Yeah, man. It's like
and then,
it's so.
She's
satisfying.
Okay. Yeah.
She's good. And she's a D.
She's important. She's a D.
To the story.
They're like this latest chapter. They're like, we need to retrieve Vivi. Like,
yes.
Emu is specifically mentioning Vivi. crazy.
Vivi's like a fucking early One Piece fan, bro. He fell off the story after Alabasta when she didn't join and never read it again. He's like,
Yeah.
I need Vivi to join the crew. Like that's his.
We're back.
We're back, baby. We're back.
At the end of the chapter where Wapol breaks into the CP9 place and takes Vivi, and he's like, I'm going to the ends of the earth if I have to, and she's like, sounds like a plan. I'm going with you.
Yep.
And that's sort of like it's implying it's like somehow either through Big Nose Morgan or somebody, she makes it to Lodestar, and if she makes it to Lodestar, I think she's going to Laugh Tale. With everyone else.
I think it's a very good chance that they meet up soon.
I really hope that. I do hope that for the story.
Like she can't go back to fucking Alabasta, man. Like
not now.
She can't go back. I don't know. She's in the run, man. She's on the run.
She is.
She's on the run.
Absolutely. So like it makes sense.
It's like all these things that he's set up for so long are finally converging, and it's so interesting. Like when I first read the Reverie. And like all the stuff with Sabo happened, it was so vague. I thought it was cool. I'm like, oh, that was fun. That was a cool little look into the government.
You see little things about like, oh shit, the big straw hat. What is that supposed to be?
Yeah, like I thought that was gonna be it. Like I didn't think about it too hard. I'm like, oh, that maybe we'll reveal some stuff later. I did not expect it to have such a big effect on the story. Like it's like doesn't have any of the straw hats involved. Just completely. Like sidetrack the story, but it sets it up in such a great way.
That's what I'm talking about. That he's set up, like I said, right? It's a different strength that he developed, sometimes to the detriment of his main characters. That doesn't feel like they have gotten as much. But because he did all that work, now he's able to have fucking 12, 13 chapters without Luffy, without any of his main characters.
Yeah, without Luffy,
and have it still be so good.
Yeah.
And be so interested because we've become so invested in all of these other characters, not just by like a name and their powers or something, but by their characteristics.
Yeah.
And by their relations to other people and what they mean to each other. You know, we care about. I thought I actually got really slightly emotional in this latest chapter. How it starts with Vivi's assistant. I forget his name.
Yeah,
the butler guy.
The butler
and
guy.
He's like, oh fuck, where is and then you see the other two guards too, like Pell and the other guy.
Yeah.
It makes sense because they got completely shut out, like in the dark.
Yeah. They're like, is
Cobra
he still sick? Where is he?
and Vivi are gone. Like Cobra's dead.
They're leaders.
And Vivi's gone. And it's like, what the fuck are we gonna?
Like their government is completely gone. Their leaders
are
just.
They're like, yeah.
Like what is happening? Yeah.
And so I felt really bad for them. You know, I felt emotional towards that, even though I completely forgot that I forgot they were there.
I forgot they existed.
I forgot they existed, and then you see him like, oh yeah, oh my god, it's incredible that he's able to do this. But then what you're saying there of just like, yeah, like he can just do that. I agree. I do think that they can take care of these Gorosei and Emu and all of this world stuff without them being there.
Yeah.
I think without them going over to after they go to the Raft Tail, they're gonna go to up the red line and beat Emu. Like I don't know. I feel like Oda is such a skilled writer at this point that he is able to solve all those problems. And like I think I said this in another, because I was thinking about like the end game, that Lodestar. It just ends with Lodestar, the 4 Yonko and their crews. That's all that's on. Then they have one final Royale, and that's the final war, final saga type of thing. Mm-hmm. But then while all of that's happening, even this latest chapter, you saw how it's like the Marines had other shit on their hands.
Yeah, right.
Like they can't take care of everything, and so that's probably going to be what it is.
I think
the Revolutionary Armies and the Marines and all this Celestial Dragon stuff. There's still players that aren't even moving yet. Like Wano, like none of the Wano characters. Like are they just going to keep to themselves? I don't know. What are they going to do? Not that they have to do something, but like there's so many players in motion right now. I can imagine that the real pirates get kind of kept to themselves, and they're on Lodestar together, and that they just have kind of a similar clash to how Roger and Whitebeard clashed during the Odin flashback, which I love that. I love that scene so much because it's unlike the God Valley incident. I think that was meant to kind of contrast because Roger, you hear about this insane thing that he did, and he took out these incredibly dangerous pirates with the help of the Navy. And then Whitebeard's crew is just kind of doing their thing. He's a former member of Roxas Pirates. And then he gets to this island, and they don't even have to say anything to each other. They just fucking fight.
Right.
They just fucking go at it. And then afterwards, it's this surprising, everyone's kind of chumming it up and exchanging treasure with each other, and they're bros, even though they just had this insane, deathly fight.
Yeah, you had an insane battle, but they can just put aside their differences.
You know, and they're just friends, because that's just what you do as pirates, you know? And to me, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's how the Luffy Shanks fight's gonna go. Where Blackbeard is taken care of. You know, that Blackbeard is the kind of the final baddie, in my opinion. I would hope he's the final baddie. And once he's defeated, okay, who's gonna make it? Who's gonna get there? And so you kind of have to have the two of them fight, and you just have this, like, confident, you know, reassurance with each other of, like, you know, they're all friends. Usopp and Yasopp's, like, they're father and son.
Yeah.
You know, like, you have this strong... They've never met each other. The two crews have literally never met each other.
Yeah.
Not a single time.
It's like they've gotten fucking close. He's teased us.
Sure, yes.
He showed up to promote Film Red, but, you know.
He did not just show up, Jack. He was there the entire third act. We got powers for all of the red-haired pirates. We got names for half of them. He was there.
Yeah,
it was not just a show up.
I don't know. He kind of showed up.
It was the third act. He was completely there, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
I don't think I went hard enough on the fact. I was trying to be very nice and apologetic. Listening back to the last podcast, saying you hated Film Reds, it was a terrible movie.
It sucks.
Get fucked, bro.
It fucking sucks. It
absolutely
fucking
not.
Sucks. It
God,
sucks.
I wish it was canon. God,
it
Lord.
Sucks.
It adds so much. I love it so much.
I hate Uta. I just hate her.
Dude, nah. I think she's great. I think what she does to motivate Luffy and everything, of him wanting to be stronger, focusing the Film Red specials, the 2 episodes where it's just focusing on him as a kid, you know, forming a relationship with Uta. And what's interesting is I thought they were gonna, like, visit multiple times. She only visits like once they. That's how he meets Shanks. Is like Uta's on board, and then he sees Uta first, and then it's like, who are you? I'm Shanks. And they only visit the island for a couple of days, and then they leave. She's like, I hope to see that you get stronger next time I'm there, next time I visit. And then when they come back is the Elgia incident.
Yes.
And the way that they frame that does make it feel like, wow, Red Hair really did a bad thing there. Like he really is like, I'm gonna take the blame all on myself, you know, and I'm, you know, it is going to appear that I'm this notorious kind of ruthless pirate that I'm not going to be fucked with. And obviously that, like, Ben Beckman having this scene with Luffy talking to him. And I like that it's Ben Beckman talking, you know, doing this and encouraging Luffy, because you don't get much Ben Beckman, and he just seems like a really dope character. He just feels like another Rayleigh, but like a Rayleigh we don't have as much knowledge about.
He does give a lot of Rayleigh vibes.
Dude, all the vice captains are the coolest characters on Earth.
Yeah, all of them
fucking
are. I don't know
why. Like, Zoro's amazing.
I don't know why. I don't know why. They're just so cool.
Killer's a bro. Beppo's a bro.
Oh, Beppo's the... Oh, yeah.
Ben Beckman, Rayleigh. I don't even know. What's so interesting, I don't think Blackbeard has a vice admiral. I think it's technically Shiryu, but
yeah.
I don't think it's a certainty. I don't think he's actually chosen one.
Yeah.
I would have assumed it's Jesus Burgess as well, but like I don't think he actually has appointed anyone that, which is really interesting.
I don't think you would respect Jesus Burgess enough. That's the vibes I get.
Or anybody.
Yeah, I don't think you trust anyone enough, right?
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Marco is technically the vice admiral of Whitebeard, right?
Yes. I don't know. It's hard to say just because there's like it's split into like captains.
Yeah,
like
he has more of a spread out.
Well, he's like the number 2 captain, so I think it was like ranked in order or something. So I think he is the vice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It's just all the vice captains are so. But
yeah.
No, yeah. I'll push back. Nope. I do want to make some sort of like analysis talking about how Film Red fits into it being canon. I get that there's certain things that don't fit, like how the Big Mom pirates are still operating. If it takes place after Wano, with Jinbei fully on the crew and everything, I do think there is an opportunity between Wano and Egghead for that to happen. But it is sort of just like, okay, what's the deal with the Big Mom Pirates at that point? If she's down, if she's gone by the time that happens.
Right.
Although, literally the only characters in Film Red that show up from her crew, Katakuri, Oven, and Brule, I think it's just those three. None of them were in Wano. Those are the, in fact, and then everybody else, I don't know what happens to them. Maybe it gets revealed in Wano later or in Wano or something, but like Sherbert I think is her name, the genie guy, and a ton of her her family were still on that ship, and the only one that's left is Perospero, that manages to live.
Yeah.
Or at least it gets off the ship and manages to join the fight, in Onigashima before it lifts off the ground. So I don't know what happened to them.
I don't know what happened to them. I feel like Oda just bled them into the background because I don't remember. I don't remember an explanation of that, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how in depth we got into Film Red the last time we talked about it. The main problem I have is just like,
hey, well, you just didn't like Uta and you didn't like the development.
I didn't like the music.
Also, that you didn't like the music. Yeah.
Then that's like such a big part. I don't know.
But you know what's funny? It's like I'm from theater. I've done musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a musical. It has musical numbers, but like it's very front loaded. It very much like kind of rapids them like the first 4, and then you don't get music pretty much the rest of the movie. You get a song at the end, and like one like the kind of towards the beginning of the third act, but like that's it. It's really not as much of a musical as like a proper musical.
Yeah, it's definitely not a musical. I'm not saying that. It's just it has music. She just performs.
But sure. And it's the way that those performance numbers happen, I guess. But nah, man, I think they absolutely nail it. I love all the characters they put in. I love that Bartolomeo's in it. I like the use of Bluno and Khalifa. And then just seeing Shanks and Luffy fight, because I am not sure whether that's going to happen or not, at least in that capacity of them fighting together against something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens in the story proper. And I think that would be a great... Obviously, we have to wait for the story to be done, but I think in hindsight, or like once the story's done, there's something I wanted to mention. Because I keep thinking about like all the projects and stuff that I want to do with One Piece in terms of like making content about it. I messaged you this. I decided that I'm gonna work on this stuff once it's done.
Yeah, I remember you saying
Once One Piece is finished. Yeah. Once it's finished, I do want to start. I'll be able to kind of see the whole picture, and I do want to start rewatching. I was like, I'm obviously reading the manga now, and like from the beginning, I'm on like volume 7, like Veritier. But I do want to do a dedicated like stream series, rewatching One Piece and doing multiple long-term projects at the same time as I'm rewatching it. I think
that's the big idea. Yeah,
I think it's the big idea. There's a lot of things that I tell you about wanting to keep track of the music, because I think the music, the fact that they've used a lot of the, obviously it's a big soundtrack, but it's been going on for so long that they still use Overtaken and Oden, the Gold and Silver, old Oden, some of these like classic tracks, even in the latest episodes. I love that about this series, because it gives it this cohesiveness to it. It's kind of the glue that ties everything together. Directors come and go, animators come and go.
The styles change, right? Like
the style is still changing despite still being animated by Toei, and a lot of the voice actors and stuff, but it's just the consistency has been the music, really, to me. That's made it feel like episode 1 and episode 1015 are from the same show. Not even just from the character's plot type of thing, but it just feels from the same show, which I love. I did this with my Guts video, where I took the soundtrack Guts' theme, looked in all 25 episodes of all the instances of where they used that track.
Yeah, I remember watching a video.
I want to do that for One Piece.
That's a bigger task.
With like all of the track, with at least the tracks that I am very personally
like the iconic tracks, like the iconic ones that like hit during all the emotional beats.
But even just and obviously it would develop over time, so I'd probably have to keep track of all of them. And then I had this other stupid, crazy idea about 10,000 things I like about One Piece.
Whoa.
Just bullet points of the point by point of like this aspect I really like, and this aspect, and and just itemizing it like that because
10,000.
well, yeah, dude, you just put 10. If you can just come up with 10 things you liked about an episode, just 10 in one 20-minute episode, you fill it out instantly. It's over 1,000 episodes.
True.
Yeah. You know, it's not too hard. At least
It's pretty hard, Shaves, but
it is when you start. Yes, because
understand.
when you get overlap for sure. Because when you start to get, you know, the similar jokes, you can only. I wouldn't do any repeats. You know, I can't do any.
Yeah.
Right, but the reason I want to do that project mainly is because it's such a big story that it's very easy to generalize it and to kind of boil it down to the 5 or 10 most important moments. You know, all of Ennie's lobby, all the twists and developments and character interactions and small moments that happen in that arc. The only one people remember is I Want to Live.
Right.
Right? Maybe some people remember, you know, Luffy v. Lucci and then standing on the, you know. There's really cool moments with Usopp.
Yeah.
There's great moments with Frankie. There's really defining moments with Sanji and Zoro and Chopper. Not so much Nami.
She has the fight with like Khalifa.
She has the Khalifa fight, yeah. But you know what I mean? And there's a lot of smaller characters that are never going to get that viral moment, the thing that, you know, people always look back on and stuff. I love all the stuff with these individual characters, and there's so many of them. There's so much denseness to this story that I do want to appreciate all of it on a level that, you know, that feels equal. Like the moment of like, Luffy, help me, of course I will. Is on the same level as like I can't lie.
Yeah.
We're just like, hey,
I can't lie. It's like it's so great.
It's so funny. Like moments like that, you know, I want to have on a similar appreciative level and obviously entrench my love for it more because
I love that.
I think it's easy again to like I've been seeing it with a lot of people. It's so easy to be like, yeah, this is okay, or yeah, this sucks, or whatever. My character development, my whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think to me, I see it with not just like with One Piece, but like anime fans as they get older, or as they're longer in the fandom and stuff, and eventually they do. But man, my real job really matters. You know, and obviously it's still. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
But like, they leave. You know, they fall out of it, or they, you know, they're in that echo chamber for so long that it's sort of a naturality that they hate it. But they're still reading it for some cost fallacy or something.
Yeah, right.
I was on Weeb Crew. And we were talking about Naruto, and Mumi was in a similar position for a long time, where he wasn't even an anime fan, and he was still reading Naruto. Not liking it, not enjoying it, but it was only because, well, I gotta see how this ends, you know.
Yeah, it is that sunk cost fallacy. I did that for like Fairy Tail. Like I had the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even like liking it. I hated it, but I just wanted to see how it ended.
Right.
I think I definitely see that with like a lot of people that catch up to One Piece. It's the fatigue, I think, of reading it weekly compared to binging it. I think we've talked about that extensively on this podcast of like how different it is, like binging a series compared to reading it weekly and waiting for the developments. But it's
and even just like watching the anime versus reading it, which I do encourage you and Nate to actually go and do sometime, because there is so many moments that I'm sure you forgot. And I said this in the first fucking podcast, that I'm just like, little moments that are especially inflated, and maybe people might kind of cynically like, oh, so it was one panel in the fucking manga or whatever, into a whole thing, into a whole scene that they really give their 110% in. They have the lighting, they have the very swelling music, they have the voice actor like fucking rending their heart out for this thing that happens in 2 pages of one chapter.
Yeah.
You know? To me, that's what I really admire about it, and I'm even just like skimming through the chapters of like what has happened since we last recorded. I forgot a lot of details about like Luffy's fight with Lucci, and there's a lot of dumb stuff that, you know, obviously he's in Gear 5, so you have like these crazy moments of him like having this cool whip tornado thing that he does.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Oops, I can't stop." That's
so funny.
Right, and like I completely forgot about that, because what stuck in my mind is how hard I laughed at the grimacing that Zoro and Luffy do with Robin and Kaku. there's certain stuff that sticks out to me. But we even talk about Stussy, turning around and being a succubus.
Yeah,
There's
right.
so much. It's so much.
It's so much to remember. It's just and it's like you only get one chapter a week. There's breaks all the time.
Yeah.
You have life, like in the
yes, you do.
In the way it's like
I was telling you before we recorded how busy I've been.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I've had the tasks I've been set with. I've been folding sweatshirts the past day or two. I've been folding them and putting a price tag on them individually and doing that for some 200 sweatshirts. I don't know.
Holy shit!
And,
yeah.
I don't know, something stupid. And and then I just put my phone to the side with Crunchyroll on it, and I'm just watching episodes of One Piece, as watching them kick Kaido's ass as I'm folding these sweatshirts.
Yeah.
And even certain developments that I would rather them focus on something else, maybe with more, because obviously the Kaido Luffy fight is easily the most compelling thing because there's so much textual thematic stuff going on, and I care the most about Luffy. The scene, what did you? I'm curious of what you felt about certain Wano moments when you read them at the time. One thing that really threw me off, I thought the Akaziya were done.
The Akaziya are the samurai, correct?
Yeah, the Samurai 9. Yeah,
Samurai 9. Okay.
I like all of them, and I think that's in part to do with how the anime really endeared me to them, I think. I was surprised that they're awake, and suddenly Oden shows up, and it's like, oh, that's obviously fake. And then I catch on pretty quick that it's Kanjuro, but they don't catch on soon enough. And we were talking earlier about how Kinemon is not the strongest leader. He's kind of a gullible idiot.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Obviously thinks that it's Oden. I can't believe he thinks it's Oden.
This part was bad. This whole part of the story, what he did with Kinemon specifically, I just don't really like. I thought he should have.
Ashura, I think Ashura died. Is Ashura dead?
That's boy Ashura, right? That guy. I cannot.
The boss.
Yes, I cannot remember. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he is though.
Okay.
I don't.
That's fair then. I mean, I wouldn't know. Maybe he shows up in the background panel. I don't know. But what he did, Kanjuro.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Okay, yeah. Because what happens to him is, he's the one that shakes them out of their senses. He's like, no, he's definitely dead, guys. Sorry, because they remember Toki, and I liked how they, despite entertaining the idea for a little while, and I thought it was kind of compelling because Kanjuro is a very good actor, and he did know Oden that whole time, so everything Oden says is really convincing.
Yeah.
Sure. He just says the right things, even though there's absolutely no way that it's him, right? And I think the way that develops where Kiku is so guilty about not finishing him off, and Ashura is like, I get it. I get why you couldn't have done it. Couldn't finish him off because he's, you've known him for all this time,
right?
For decades. And so Ashura is kind of the one that takes that sword that kind of gets impaled by Kanjuro's puppet of Odin. And then Odin is setting up. He has this dynamite thing, and Ashura is just tackles him and takes the L for everybody else. So I think he does. I guess he does die. I do care about all of them, and it is sort of what each of them contribute, and they all contribute in a lot of small ways. There's no one big thing that they're really is their whole function or something. It's a lot of small stuff, and it's their dynamic with each other. And I know what you said about Kinemon should have died at the moment with in 10:15. So I watched 10:15, obviously, the fucking goated Megami Shitani episode that I pretty much already watched before watching the episode because Twitter, just posting every scene imaginable, literally every scene. I don't think there was a single thing in that episode that I hadn't already seen.
That's funny.
But thankfully, I hadn't heard any of it. I did not hear any of it, so because I saved myself from that. The Kinemon scene is what thankfully broke me. What actually got me to tear up because of the way that was directed. Because Luffy remembers before they went to Onigashima how he's like, "We'll make it back," or "Thank you for doing this." Katashi Kenai. Immediately, they see him all on the ground, and I think it was important that he wasn't dead in that moment. Maybe if he dies in Luffy's arms, sure. I think if he died in that moment, it feels like it could have been a similar thing to Ace's death.
Yeah.
Not to say that Luffy would have felt exactly the same, obviously not, but Kinemon really is his one of his closest friends.
Yeah, that's
he's been on. If Kinemon died in that moment, for sure, I think that would have affected the fight differently. I don't know if Luffy would have had the confidence and the gusto, which was pretty much the only reason he won at the end. I haven't even finished the Kaido fight, but I can tell the only reason he wins is because his mentality is better.
Yeah, right.
He's not physically stronger than Kaido, but he is more determined to win than Kaido. Kaido is this weird, like, he's been so complacent that he's like, please give me a good time. I am so bored.
He's drunk. He's like drunk during the fight. Like he's
right. Well, he's nihilistic too, because when we first introduced to him, he tries to jump off a sky island and he's like, "Fuck, that didn't kill me."
Yeah.
He just wants to die, and he's seeking anybody to like do something to him, to actually give him a challenge,
to push him. Yeah, because he literally can't get anyone to put, like, he has the power over like everyone. Like he.
Yeah.
No,
but nobody can do anything to him.
Yeah.
They do all this crazy shit to him. Like the Worst Generation do all these incredible attacks on him, and they all land, and he feels all of them, but then he just gets back up. He's like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
And he's so black-pilled pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's Luffy's optimism and the way he's constantly kind of chuckling during the fight, even though he gets KO'd multiple times. Like he quote unquote loses in the same level that he lost when he first fought Kaido. And the only reason that happens where he gets sent to prison or whatever is because there's people around and they chain him up in the sea chains or whatever. But Kaido allows it. Kaido's like, well, it's just us two on this roof.
Let's keep going.
At least, let's just fucking, all right,
let's run it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. And Luffy finds different ways to come back every time and different mentalities. So I guess, so I don't know where Kinemon is going right now. So right now, they just ran into Orochi, and he had a badass fucking moment against Orochi, I think. The anime did a great job with this really great scene with him and all of the other Akazuya. Because, affirming that fear that he had. Like, Orochi didn't even see any of them by the time they snatched, right before they did the raid. He got decapitated by Kaido by then. And so after he's betrayed, he just doesn't care anymore. And he just wants to burn the whole place to the ground. So we didn't get that moment of him having this, like, intense fear of the Akazuya, like what had been built up to at that moment. So getting that payoff was awesome. That they were able to do that to Orochi. But then, I think it is sort of like this cool moment of Luffy saying, Law, or Tragai, send everyone downstairs, like, get them out of here. That gets them to safety. They're alive. They're okay. Mm-hmm. They're fucking mortally, like, really badly injured, but they're bodied. But, like, Luffy made it. He didn't make it in enough time for them to not get bodied. Like, they almost died. He's like, I'm sorry I'm late. But at least he's not too late. To me.
Yeah, right.
And I just fucking cried with Kinemon asking Luffy for that. Because I don't think he ever really explicitly asked Luffy to help him in that way.
Yeah.
Because he's like, can you help us in this raid? Because we're going to do this. And, it's going to be us that takes down Kaido for Odin. And we're going to save Wano and everything. And it's great that you're helping. Yes,
yeah, right.
Great, we have a pirate alliance.
It's their fight. Thanks. It's always been their fight. Like they, like that. Kinemon and Momonosuke are the heart that brought Luffy to Wano. Because obviously they had the goal to get Kaido to take him down.
Right, like Law's plan.
But it's through meeting and befriending and becoming like great friends with Kinemon and Momonosuke that he's like, oh, these people need help. Like, I'm relating to these singular people, my friends.
Yeah,
and that
is Tama and
Yasui.
And
all the samurai.
His Toko is her name.
Toko, her kid.
Yeah, Toko. Right.
Just like all these individuals that he knows is what is driving him, and that's.
And he says Atarimai Daro, which is the same thing he says to Nami when she asks for help. So it's literally it feels like a direct parallel to that scene with him asking for help. Okay. him saying it's like it's my friend's country. Oh my god. I'm choking up.
We're getting emotional on Piss Pirates, guys.
Yeah, One Piece is amazing. I'm sorry I don't go after too many One Piece haters. I don't know. Again, I mute them on Twitter at this point.
I feel you.
It's too absurd.
I understand.
The fucking aura shit and like God. No,
that sounds cringe. I don't see any of them anymore. So
it's actual cringe.
I understand that just sounds disgusting. What episode is it? 10-15? I should probably check. It out.
I can't believe you haven't, Jack.
No,
dude, it is literally the most goated. Like everyone talked about, of course,
I watched like Oshinoko, man. I don't watch much anime anymore. That's the only one I'm watching right now. But
wait, what is it?
The Oshinoko, that one.
Oh, right.
That shit's
no, yeah, but that's the only anime you're watching right now?
I haven't watched anime in forever, but this show's striking. Wow. It's really good. It's really good.
I would recommend all 3 of Megumi Ishitani's episodes, which is 987, 1015, and 1058, I think. Okay. So the episodes she directs, I'll give you like the plot of what part of the manga that she adapted. So there's this chunk early in Wano where it cuts away and it's revealed that Cobra passed away. And you're learning about, I think that's when you learn about Moria. You get kind of more about like the dissolution of the 7 warlords, I believe is when that happens.
Yeah.
That's when they formally break them up, and then you have a really good scene of Boa and with Buggy and all this other stuff, and a lot of different major characters that are not in the arc, like Blackbeard, a really cool scene with Blackbeard. And she does a great job with like giving you this atmosphere, especially when like the Kingdom of Alabasta is told about the news of Cobra, right? It's devastating. And so seeing that being so well directed and everything, and obviously like the animation's incredible. Like obviously the storyboards are incredible, but then the animators that she's working with and seemingly allowing them to succeed, and all 3 episodes just have the S tier game for animation. It's not a moment of Sakuga in all 3 of her episodes. It's one of those like the first shot you're like, oh, this is different. Oh, this is. I would love to watch some of these episodes, like these episodes with you, honestly, because I would love to watch them again. The second episode she directs is, I think they just finished beating. They just destroyed the outpost that's there, and it's the scene where like Kinemon sails ahead of them to raid Onigashima, and there's some other stuff that happens. It's not as consequential of an episode, but it's just the visuals that they choose and this great sequence at the end of Luffy deciding, because it's like, we're trying to celebrate Jinbei as the new member, and he's like, you know what? Let's all have a drink once we beat this guy. Let's kick this guy's ass first, right? And they're like, oh, we just did all this work to get this sake or whatever. And then they all are like really cheer, being like, I'm in. And they're all like such a fucking unit, dude. Like, oh my god. It's so good. And then 1015, the goated episode is literally chapter 1000.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it is, you get to see Yamato talking more about her experience with Ace.
Oh, I think I saw a clip from that before.
I
saw clips from it. Yeah.
There's a clip of like Luffy of her learning about Luffy's dream, and it's kind of an anime original sequence where she sees herself there, or Yamato sees themselves there. Sorry, the he or she. I think Yamato. This is such a. Apparently, Nux Taku's getting canceled for this too.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he was very. He pointed out like one of the color spreads in one of the latest chapters that Yamato is a part of the color spread with all women.
I saw people were screaming about that. Yeah.
Look, I get it, but I actually finally got to Yamato. Like watching this character, Yamato just wants to be Oden.
Yeah.
She's not trying to be a guy. She's trying to be Oden, specifically Oden, Bokuwa Oden. That is all that's all they've referred to themselves. And then everyone around the story is like, okay, but boobs.
Yeah, that's what
Luffy's like, oh, and Momo is like, oh. Everyone is making this kind of observation, like, huh, all right. And she's still a great character and really impactful and everything. I like Yamato a lot, and that's not to put her down at all. And I'm sorry I keep referring to with she or pronouns. I would refer to him, his. If I didn't watch the show, and I was not convinced that. I think that they're just trying to be Odin. That's all it is. And of course that's not gelling with what Luffy wants, because Luffy wouldn't want you to be some guy. Luffy wants you to be yourself. You know, like I don't know if he says that explicitly to Yamato, but like
that's basically it.
You know, and the way Yamato's like approaches him so strongly, being like, "I've been waiting for you. I know your brother. I know your dream." Like, like, you know, it's too strong. That whole time, having that drama and that knowledge in the back of my head, being like, okay, everyone thought this person that Yamato was going to join the crew, and they don't. I'm watching Luffy's reactions. I'm watching Luffy, how they were interacting with. So, I know this is not too much evidence, really. This is probably you probably disproved this.
Okay.
When Luffy gave Yamato a nickname, Yamao, I was like, okay, that's a friend of Luffy's, but it's not a crew member.
Okay.
Because I could be wrong. Luffy doesn't give any nicknames to his crew members. He calls all of them by their name.
I can't think of any examples.
And there are some characters that he calls by their real names, obviously, like, you know, Rebecca, I believe, you know, and some other characters, whatever. But like, to me, when he gives them a nickname, it's a arm's length, like, you know, I acknowledge you.
It's like him calling like Law like Tra guy. Like,
Tra
guy, like
and
there's definitely a degree. I can't think, like, I feel the story's so long. Maybe he does it like once or twice.
Oh,
but
sure.
for the majority of the story, you're right. I think for
it's
the majority of the story,
like people have noticed that Zoro has never called Sanji by his name. Not a single.
Never.
Apparently, maybe once in like a movie or something. I think there may have been one or two, but like never. And I am waiting for the slam dunk moment. Obviously, they've had moments like this, right? With
where they team up.
where they have like obvious team ups, and there's obviously like they get that they're the wings, right?
Yeah.
An acknowledgement of each other. But I am waiting for that slam dunk moment. Are you familiar with slam dunk?
I've read a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you've read a bit of it, you know about Hanamichi and Ryukawa, their rivalry, and the way that resolves. You familiar with the infamous panel?
No.
Oh, good. Then I wouldn't even spoil that.
Don't spoil it for me.
I wouldn't even spoil that.
I want to read it one day because I read it, a bit of it, and I was really into it. Like the comedy is like on point in that series.
Oh,
like,
it's
so
funny.
It was like
I was
really
so
funny.
happy.
I was like, that is really good. I was surprised.
In a way, I wish Inoue did more comedy, honestly. But like, I think Slam Dunk's like my favorite Jump series after One Piece.
Damn.
But I am waiting for that Slam Dunk moment with Zoro and Sanji. And it is going to, I think, involve Zoro acknowledging Sanji and saying his name for the first time.
Dude, the shippers, man. The shippers are going to go crazy. I see so much gay Sanji and Zoro. I never see any of this anime stuff you see of. I see the gay Sanji and Zoro shit on my Twitter feed all the time. And it is the funniest shit ever. I always be liking all of the posts. They're like editing manga panels to have Zoro and Sanji saying like different things. I feel like it grows stronger every chapter. They dismiss each other. It's like so funny. It's so funny.
It's the best. It's just the best.
That's one of the best like dynamics in this series. But yeah, no, I think that's a good point on Yamato. I didn't think she was gonna join either. I was kind of iffy on it because I remember I went on Nate's podcast like right before like that happened. Like he told me that like he doesn't think he'll join. But he thinks they will. He's like, I hope they don't. I don't think they will, but they probably will. He was like, it's over. Yeah, it was like the last possible minute. Yeah, it's because it's hard to predict Oda. So I'm kind of like, I don't want any more crew members. I don't know. It's like
I don't either. Not at this point.
I want like Vivi.
I think Vivi should join them. Yes. Yeah. And I think I think Luffy and everyone on the crew, at least everyone that remembers, like Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei will meet her for the first time. But everyone else, it's like, there's Vivi. Yeah. Like they'll fully be like, of course Vivi will join us for Rafter.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It just feels so weird at this point. Like it feels so like late in the journey to have someone join. It's like the core crew has like gone through so much together. Like just like I think Vivi makes sense just because it like
Because
met
she's
them
gone through a lot with that. She
like,
did
so
go through
much
a lot
with
with them early on, and that's
So
a
much
very
with them,
formative.
right?
That's a very formative experience. That's their first journey, and that's their first adventure in the Grand Line.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very formative experience. But and it's also like you think about Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei, which I can understand people feeling that they're ancillary.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe not the core five or something. But you look at each of them and what they do for the crew and how the entire crew, not just Luffy, feels about them. At this point in the story, at this point in Wano, most of the crew has not met Yamato. I don't think any of them have met Yamato besides Luffy.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I have to think about it. I'm at that point again where, like, you know, Luffy just asked Law and Zoro to go downstairs. The only people, obviously, like, Zoro still hasn't encountered King, and Sanji is not against Queen or anything. Like, not all the pairings are set yet, but a lot of them are. And I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, okay, they're going to be grateful that Yamato protected Momo. That's awesome. I think that's a great function for Yamato, and it makes sense then. To me, it's also, I was realizing it too, Yamato has not just left Wano. Yamato didn't even leave Onigashima. They've never seen Wano before.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that if you want to be Odin, if you want to, like, understand Odin, he's not just this guy that goes off with Luffy or whatever, with Whitebeard. That's one aspect of him. He's also a family guy.
Yeah, he's a leader.
Lucky he's a family guy.
Lucky he's a family guy. Right, I didn't even think of that shit.
I thought you were gonna pick up on that when I said Family Guy.
I should. No, I should. I'm just
Damn.
angry at myself that I didn't, to be honest.
Damn. No, but
damn.
I picked it. Yeah, I threw
she's
it up.
Trying to be like Peter, and
right.
like she's
trying to be Peter.
She can't Lois on it. You know, it's like
right. No, and like, yeah, being a leader and protecting the Shogun, and, you know, and being there for Momo specifically, because Momo, you know, he does have that. I just still don't know how that happens. I don't know, because he's talking about, I was like, man, I can't help anyone. I'm so weak and I'm stupid and da da da. And has this, I hate. He literally says, I hate myself like twice.
Yes.
And then they're all be like, no, you're awesome. And he's like, no, I'm not. And so I'm like, yeah, that is true. So I know that he becomes Big Dragon, and.
Oh yeah, the big yeah, you got that spoiled.
And then I mean, I got from Gear 5 onwards, so like I know about him being kind of it's like up to him to stop the island from crashing.
Yeah,
I think, and then when he dehensions from the dragon for the first time, he's a full-grown adult. Like he's like as if he was time skipped, you know, as if he actually felt those 20 years or something. I don't know exactly how. I don't know how that happens. I also don't yet know how Chopper becomes a baby.
Dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I remember Chopper becomes a baby. There's some stuff that happens, but it's like such a that part of the manga is such a blur to me, because there's like maybe in the anime is definitely gonna make that more clear for you, but in the manga there is like,
because it makes every moment a big deal.
Yes, you'll understand. You'll update me in the next like 7 months when we record the next podcast, and I'm like, oh no, that's how Chopper
what we should
became
do,
a
Jack.
baby.
What we should do, Jack, is watch the 3 Megami Shitani episodes.
Yes.
And we should record sometime close or around when Gear 5 happens.
Okay.
Which I think will be soon. And
Okay.
it might even correlate with like Oda returning from his 5-week hiatus. I don't know for sure. I'm not good. I am awful at predicting when Gear 5 is going to happen in the anime, apparently, because I thought it was going to happen in fucking November.
Yeah, I don't know.
The stupid idiot.
I think I saw a tweet or something saying it's happening soon, but like from what you're saying, like, are you caught up with the anime? Are you caught up with the anime?
I'm not. I'm on episode, let me see.
Because the point you're at, there's still like a considerable amount to go.
Oh, I know. It is. I am on 1031, and the anime is on 1064.
Okay.
I have about 30 episodes behind.
Okay. It's probably happening soon then, I imagine.
Yes. Relatively soon.
I think we'll pick it up there then, guys. Well.
Oh my god, I didn't even fucking mention. The other project I want to do with One Piece, with rewatching all of it through like streaming or something, and doing this project. I want to do a manga to anime at a comparison.
Oh my god.
because
You're gonna do
you
that
and
for
I,
the rest of your life, man. I'm gonna let you know.
well, you know, with this rewatch, but like,
That's
but yeah,
fucking insane.
Look,
Shapes.
if I do all 3 at the same time, it will go 3 times as fast. No.
Dude, your life will be one. You'll just turn into Oda. You're just gonna
No,
turn into
it's
fucking Oda. You're just gonna
big-
become him. And
big brain.
Your whole life's
You know,
gonna be
there's
Oda.
but you see,
It's
there's
gonna be
other
One Piece.
there's other content creators on here where their entire personality is One Piece. So why can't I?
Yeah, but they're not going, chapter by chapter, episode by episode. They're making stupid theories of like, oh, Luffy's gonna turn. It came.
You're right.
Born out of an
That-
egg. Or
that's
some
why
shit.
I'm better. This is why.
That's why you're built different,
this
and that's why
is
we made
built
this
different.
podcast. Because Shaybs is gonna fucking read One Piece 80 times.
Because I tweeted, I said, I DM'd you. I was reading Baratier in the manga, and did you guys realize that the way that Zeph's foot gets removed is completely different from the manga and anime?
Yeah, you surprised me with that one. Yeah,
I had no idea it was that different, and that makes it, that one moment was like, oh, I have to see all of it. I have to compare all of it.
It changes that scene considerably.
I think it does too.
It makes the manga makes him look less badass.
I think so.
It makes the anime just like him not eating anything, because in the manga, I don't know.
In the manga, they're stranded on the island, and he breaks his foot with a rock after Sanji leaves, being like, oh well, so much for Redfoot, whatever, and breaks his own foot so that he eats it. And everyone was like, oh my god, I can't believe you ate your own foot to like survive or whatever. But in the anime, when he's trying to save Sanji, when he didn't have to, his foot gets caught, and he has to cut it off in order to save Sanji and obviously save himself.
Yeah.
And then Sanji had no idea that his foot was gone the entire time, and that he didn't eat anything. He didn't eat his foot. He didn't eat a goddamn thing.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It makes it so badass. It makes it so badass.
Which, like, I can understand that the anime was probably trying to censor things. It was actually probably like, we probably can't show a guy cutting his own foot off with a rock. Like, it's a little graphic or something.
Yeah.
But the way they do it in the anime, right? They see the anchor and then a spurt of blood, and it's implied. And obviously, his foot still gets cut off.
Yeah.
But you don't see it. So I feel like they may have been, I don't know. But that just makes me be like, oh my god, especially with how elongated it is and how much Oda has the anime staff add. What else do they add?
Right.
Makes you wonder, makes you think. So it was like, well, if I'm collecting the physical manga anyway, and heck,
Christ.
I'm not doing this right now.
Once the manga ends. And
Once the manga finishes and the anime finishes, then I can be like, well, the whole anime's out.
So you got
let's go.
You got like 15 years. You're good.
Not 15.
You got 15
Sheesh.
years to wait. I think you're good.
A certain amount of years for sure. But then I think that's the idea. But I just wanted to finish my thought on that.
Oh
So,
yeah, that was a crazy reveal. But yeah, no.
But thank you guys.
Stay tuned soon for Shaybs.
We're gonna be back. It's gonna. God, not all. Not
Stay tuned.
But stay tuned for a few years, or if that ever happens.
Shaybs will be back in 2065 with his new episode.
Jack, it's just my dream.
You know what? I'm gonna watch every fucking episode of that shit, bro.
That is my thing at the end of my dream.
I believe in you, bro, and I believe.
That's
in
what
you.
I'm thinking.
And you got this.
All right. Thanks,
All
man.
right. Bye, guys.
Yo, peace.
Love you.